My name is Isadore Peltier, Division of Cause, nicknamed Tollboy, Indian Act number 141010901. I'm running for council this year for a community. I was nominated for council. I have a wealth of experience in the past. I've been in council before in the past for 4 terms straight until I got my injury, and then kept in pace with working with our community. I've sat in various committees, our community members. I understand very well about our community, what goes on in our community, what the needs are in our community. I even set out external committees too as well. In the areas of governance, we talk about governance in our communities. We've done in the past really strong committee as a good governance committee. Our government and community would be strong is to have a good layout, how our people are going to be run their lives in the future, how our community be working together and working with other governments external too as well. We built such in a pace that we need to create law-making authority to our communities, title whatever is justice, to have a good governance, cohesive government in our community that would enable us to run a strong community here in Chinesing. When we talk about transportation is one of the major links to our community. We live on an island. That's the only way we get back and forth to the mainland. And right now, I've signed in past when we got the old Sandy Graham. When we received that was on an interim basis. It has its days. We've been negotiating. Our community members, our past leaders have been negotiating, trying to get a new vessel. And at this point that we are pushing, trying to get a new vessel for our community. It's our next generation, how they're going to perceive our transportation, or whether we're going to go to fixed link or continue the same system as crossing the ferry. But I want to engage strongly, push for a new vessel that we need to do, because it is an unsafe vessel we have here. It has its days, and we need to push for a better transportation for our community, for our young ones and our elderly. Education, and when you talk about education, I sit in the education committee. One of the committees I sit as a chair, and it's very important in education right now how we put forward and letting the government know that there's a big gap in our funding and education funding. We need to push forward in education to close that gap so we have the same cost and effective cost of operating our schools, tuitions, and so forth for our members. And our members that are coming on, and our ones that are going to post-secondary, and so forth. Our school, we definitely need a new school. We're working dual diligence in our committee here to push for a new school. We want to go forward, not waiting for Canada, because they have a backlog of school requests, and we're in that bunch. But we're going to start someplace, and we're going to start on our own here for starters. And we'll meet with them halfway, hopefully. ECDEP is another department I sit in. I sit in the Economic Development Committee. I understand the pros and cons that we're running against in that committee, but the economic development is one of the major sectors that we need to go forward here in our community in order to start engaging to whether it's employment or enterprises for our community to go forward. We need to find ways to implement and engage and show the partnership outside for us to move forward, that we need to do some sustainability to move forward. And a good thing about economic development, we have a land management act that just came to our table, which will engage us to do more economic development powers within that regime. And hopefully as we move forward, members and community will have a better access to do anything in their lands to move forward in the economic enterprises. And I hope and I push strongly that we'll go towards that direction out of this regime. Housing and infrastructure, major task. Housing infrastructure, there's a lot of changeovers in housing infrastructure. Canada itself, right now with the department, high cost of capital dollars are further going back. They're pushing us to go towards partnership with other sectors in order to get engaged with infrastructure, so we could get involved in that, do some boring off banks, move forward with that, use our own entity here, our own expertise, our own dollars that are available here, pool ourselves together and to build better housing and infrastructure in the community. There's potentials there. We could work towards it. We'll create laws and build a good infrastructure, whether it's housing or other infrastructure that's much needed in our community as we grow. Membership, in other words, membership. Membership is a big, one of the largest issues that we, not only in our communities, elsewhere. Canada controls membership. They will find ways to devise to, at a lack of consultation from our people, to see who belongs, who doesn't belong in our communities. We got to create a devise our own. We, our community, know how our membership is going to look like. We're gonna have, it will be us that'll distinct that for the future, for our generation. And when we have to develop a membership code, yes, it will have to be that way. And Canada will have no say in it. And, to us, it'll be better management for our community as we grow. We talk about justice and lawmaking. Yes, every sector to have a good cohesive governance, there is a lawmaking system that needs to take place, whatever it's justice. And every sector of what we're going to be doing when we're going to own governance is lawmaking authorities, whether it's lands areas, various undertaken, there is a lawmaking regime, dispute regimes, to make our community more safer, to make our community more digital, to work towards a better functioning community. Language is very important. Cultural language is one of the tasks that we need to push for our younger people to understand, because language is who we are as people, and we need to let the government know that ourselves, that we are a people that have the language. We never lost our language. We're pushing it to go forward, and it's going to embrace that in our schools, my committee in the education. We're pushing for a language immersion in our schools, so the language will always be there for the ones our children growing up, and they'll never lose it, and they'll be proud of who they are as members. Health committee, health respect. Yes, health respect. Health is very important in our community. Living on the island, there's so many health issues, there's so many health needs that we need to look and towards, especially the size of our health building itself. We need our own people, our own doctors, nurses, healthcare people to really push forward and use that education to bring them back home and to work with our own people. That's one of the most chronic areas that we need here living on the island, and we need to push forward that we need a better system here, our care system. And as I mentioned earlier, that I've got a wealth of experience. I'm a policy maker, a policy delivery person. I understand Canada's ways, provincial ways. I know all the PTOs, understand the provincial territorial organizations that we belong, we work with. And I've always been a politician, but I want to work for my people, and work towards for the better future for our next generation to come. And that's what we have to say. So Isadore Peltier wants to go for council again. Which